Part 2 of the midweek preview covering Wyong for Wednesday. Dry as, can't seem to rain, and Wyong got a bit of rain last week, so they haven't really overly watered, which could present a fast track tomorrow. We stay at the mile for the first leg of the quaddie, the benchmark 63, and good speed here again with Princess Vane, Dinky Diodora, My Millie Moo will be looking for a position. Hirokin often races up on the speed, and Santorini Miss perhaps next best. So despite the small field, it's a keen race. The market reads $3.70 the breakthrough maiden winner My Millie Moo, $4.60 Dinky Diodora, $5 Hirokin, $4.80 Element of Luck, $7 Princess Vane, and that's pretty much your race. $26 the top one is heads the others. I've mentioned the speed. Gord, do you remember us watching this Kembla race together the other day where Jay Penza outrode everyone, and I think it was Rachel King on Hirokin who just missed the boat?
Oh, got owned, yes.
Yeah,
and you were doing your normal Jay Penza
wings. Yeah, Jay Penza. He's got the Jay.
Yeah, it seems effective.
Yeah, he works really well.
Yeah.
He's a good man, Jay Penza.
Yeah.
And he wins a lot of races, particularly at Kembla. Anyway, so I got to this race and I went, wow, there it is. It's third up, and now gets K McAvoy. I realise it's a bit of an old horse, but it's only had 6 wins, and all six of them have been at the 1600 metres. That's where I started. Where did you start?
I started looking at Dinky Diodora and then said no to it. And then I was in complete confusion.
Gee, Glenn won't be happy. You know, he's going to say, look at Hieronymus. He turns up at Goulburn and rides a bloody dozen, you know, a winner at $12.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not quite as, I don't have quite as much of a man crush as Glenn does. And yes, I was against it. It didn't look to me like it was the kind of horse where 1600 metres would suit. What did you think? I thought it was soft through the line.
I know. Look, I'm very focused on distance at the moment. The only stable that I'm a little bit squidgy about is Waterhouse.
Yeah, they can trick you, can't they? Yeah. My Millie Moo, super impressive last start, but is it a horse I want to entertain taking a short price about? Probably not. And I like your thought processes on Hirokin. You know me, 38 career starts for 6 wins.
It's a hot-looking record.
I'm just like, you've had your wins, you know. Now you.
I know you're not a horse to go looking for.
Yeah. But I do admit all your points there were lovely, and you know we're massive fans of K McAvoy at the moment, and King to McAvoy on a horse at the right stage of its prep with those lovely distance stats seems like a good tip to me.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the Element of Luck, who is another mare that's got a pretty Kleiner looking record, but has carried Alina Skerritt for most of its life, and unsuited by a slow tempo the other day. She'll get a race run to suit. My Millie Moo is one of those classic, there's a very, very strong theory around about long-time maidens. They break through long-time maiden mares, they break through and they remain at the course in distance. Like, that's golden. It was a 4-year-old and up stinking, shitty maiden.
It means nothing, but it did completely dominate.
Yeah. Anyway, that does propel her into this race. I think she's just a touch well found, so I'm suggesting Hirokin in race 5. Race 6, Class 1 over 1350, and we're into weird Paul Perry land here. But he's not the favourite. It's Pygmy favourite, the 3-year-old filly at $3.50. $4 Gadfly, $6 Oxford Magic, $8 Classic Records, $13 Valley Grand, $15 Sparkling L'Amour, $15 Yvonne's Magic, and $15 Prince High. $26 the other is Born Lucky. Oxford Magic resumed at 1,000. He had 2 lifetime runs over this trip previously, and he's drawn 9 of 9 for T. Clark. He clearly goes well forward. Yvonne's Magic is a mare that's got good speed. Sparkling L'Amour resumes here and won, leading all the way at his only win. And Classic Records is fresh with Gary Moore, so he's an on-speeder as well. Gadfly, $11.50 back to 1,000, now up to $13.50. Looks to posse up. It's a keen enough race.
If I'm going to be that keen on sleek early on in the day, I have to give Oxford Magic a good chance here. I mean, it is 1,000 metres to 1,350, but if you notice, last preparation, it had 2 starts. They were both under 1,350 metres. Looked to me like a big, sort of strong, sort of a horse that could have got some benefit out of that 1,000 metres last start. So
it's
now,
barrier trial.
yeah, now with the barrier trial, which it won, you know, against other horses that were trying, that indicates to me that it might have something to springboard off there, and I think the opposition is reasonably weak. I had quite a good look at number 7, Pygmy.
The market's had a very good look at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all looking at O'Shea Fresh, aren't we, with Abdullah on board as well. I wasn't impressed with that last trial. He's done, but then you got to be careful with this stable, don't you? I mean, the right things happen. 1,050 metre trial, 1,000 metre trial. But I didn't like that last 1,000 metre trial at Wyong. It looked to me like this horse mightn't have a lot. But yet again, I wouldn't
the form says that she hasn't got a whole lot.
Yeah. So I was against. I thought that was far too well found in the market. So for me, Oxford Magic, although we're sort of poo-pooing the time in that particular race, I don't think 1,000 metres suits, so it still did a great job to actually win the race. I think springboard off that. I love T. Clark at Wyong, Gosford, etc. I think he's probably your gun rider in those areas. So I'm a bit of a fan, and I thought it was good odds. What odds did you say it was?
It's $6.
$6, yeah, good price for me.
So talk to me about Pete Perry. He's either always going way back in distance or way up in distance, or it's a 3-year-old with some ability. Started quite a tight price in a high grade race first up, then went back to the 1,000, didn't participate, been to the trials since.
Yeah, I'm against it. I admit,
Well, it's got a very good, solid win there against Stormforce. It only got beaten 8 lengths last week by
yeah.
Gloriette.
I mean, what I'm saying is Tom Berry, not one of my jockeys. Perry doing all that funny stuff.
Yeah, I know. I understand. It's all marginal.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what price do you want to get about a setup like that when you're not even sure the horse has any ability?
Yeah, but I'm saying there's a few weird setups here. Because
Look,
number 1 is a weird setup, number 2 is a weird setup, up in distance.
I'm saying
like that.
too, when you take into consideration what happened last preparation, it's not as whiffy. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. It's like, oh well, this is this horse's real profile anyway.
Yeah.
Valley Grand has got some decent runs, but Barrier 1, Courtney, and the new stable is just he clearly does a good job. The few horses he's had have overperformed, but they're not. It's not a winning combo there. Classic Records I had a look at because it was Lee Roach drawn in gate 2 there. That was an unsuitable setup, and it gets C. Brown, who, as much as we malign C. Brown, he's going to be potent enough for the provincials.
Well, he's going to have Lee Roche covered as well.
Avon's Magic's doing a good job. Pygmy, the favourite, is short odds, but I did give her a solid tick for her win before spelling. I thought she did more than it appeared. So the answer's a pineapple as far as I'm concerned. I give chances to 1, 2, 4, 5 and 7, possibly 6. Won't be betting in the race, but an interesting race nonetheless. Race 7, 1,000 metres, benchmark 65. Treviso is $2.90. Run Sally Run is $5.50. $8 Grammar School, another P. Perry weird setup. $9.15 Sunflowers, $10 Torchbearer. $11 Frankie Four Fingers, $15 Exotherm, also an exhibitor in the last race. $21 Tradance heads the others. Now, Run Sally Run needs to lead. I have her struggling to lead Miss Bunny Hop, and ratings to win tells me that the fastest horse in the race is Treviso.
What?
Well, it's a 3-year-old. It is actually tons faster than all those other horses. They're all old strugglers.
I see the way it pings.
Yeah. It flies the lids.
What the hell he was doing last start, I have no idea.
It was up to 1,200. It's like, oh God, we're a risk at 1,200. We've got to be, we can't burn our petrol.
Like, what was he thinking? I have no idea. When you ping like that, you've got to take advantage of it. How often do we see them ping from wide barriers? They decide to drag them back, and they're still posted 4 wide.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's just bloody ridiculous.
Gordy's talking to his kick, of course.
Look, it wasn't going to win the race, but it was given none, and that's why we can. I can say that for me, that was actually a fairly decent run in a high standard Saturday race. It's going to be winning this race. I think it's a moral. If something jumps from a wide barrier, gets dragged like that in Saturday grade races and comes back to this, and luckily we're getting a decent price because there's a couple of little other angles in this race, isn't there? So,
well, what are the other angles? Because I
15 Sunflowers.
Okay, yeah, she's first up off a short break, and she's a mare that's got talent on her day, but she's
Loves the distance.
Yeah, she's been at 1,000 3 times. The highway race, a race against Torchbearer way back, and her first start. Yeah, go on. What's the next angle?
Well, it's quite well found in the market. Exotherm.
So it's $15. It's not. It's resuming off a very long spell, but a dangerous type of horse.
Dangerous type of horse. This bush stuff. Who else is in the money?
Run
there?
Sally Run.
Run Sally Run.
She's had 3 runs of the provincials. I think she's
okay. So smashed them last start, but beat nothing.
Yeah, she's had 3 runs of the provincials, and she's struggled to beat a runner home on each occasion. She's had some excuses.
Her 3rd back and 4th back at Taree and 5th back. But there's reasonable bush form lines there. But that's bush form lines. Treviso's a serious horse.
No.
This is over.
Yeah,
And,
one from 2 for me.
Yeah, just one.
Race 8. Pretty much done and dusted the penultimate, so we'll get to the nightcap. Class 1 over 1100, biggest field of the day. Currently sitting at 14 runners. And Riders Rain, Snowdens, have they had a runner earlier? They actually had another runner on the day?
I can't remember.
Kay McAvoy this time, but Riders Rain is $3.40. $5 is Fleetior for a new stable, Chris Lees. $5.50 Nickerbell. And then we're into double figures. $11 Allegheny. $15 is Gone to Paris, another weird Perry setup. $15 Caribou. $15 Cleve Hill. $19 Striker Ransom, and 26 Bar. Once again, a pretty keen race. Adam is a 1,000-metre horse that's going to be on speed. Striker Ransom from the deep looks to have to push on. Allegheny got a good speed despite the fact that she's coming back from 1,200. Chappie has speed. Silent Image has some speed. Caribou dragged back the other day but also has speed. Carole Blanco on speed. And Fleetior probably ridden quietly for a new stable tomorrow. Riders Rain obviously is right up with them.
I was interested in a few horses in this race, and
it's quite a juicy race.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is, and you can look at it a few sort of different ways. When you're a leader, I'm talking about number 1 Allegheny here. When you're a leader and you're actually over an unsuitable distance, I think, because she's definitely a shorter course than 1,200 metres. And you lead, and then something decides to take you on mid-race.
She was so uncomfortable, wasn't she?
Yeah, you even looked at the way she was just not happy about it at all.
Not at all,
I think she could be a lot happier in this particular race, but there's a fair amount of pace again. But I don't think that's matter because there's going to be pace the whole way, and I think that might suit her.
Yeah.
So I think she's got a good chance, and she's at long odds, about $12 or something like that. So I was against number 2 Fleetior because I don't like horses that come from the Gay Waterhouse stable. If you're going to buy a tried horse from a stable, she's not the one to grab it.
You look for a lesser trainer, generally.
Who's soft on them. Nickerbell, I liked the trial. It was stylish, but the time wasn't that crash hot. But I admit, quite dangerous here, and might have a little bit of ability, and sort of showed that in its style probably in the trial over the last sort of 50, 100 metres. I was reasonably sort of impressed with. Riders Rain I was against. Comes from sort of, Wednesday Metropolitan stuff, but I thought that Baby Boots stuff was a bit tinny.
Yeah. Baby Boots was quite amazingly good in that race, like too good.
Yeah.
So that was a drag on Riders Rain, and Virgilio was first up unfit first up. I think Riders Rain got away with something there, and then she was pretty hollow at Warwick Farm. It's not a great race, she's perhaps...
It seems a bit too well found for me, but then yet again I wouldn't be surprised if the money continued. It just won't be my money.
Yeah.
And number 9 Striker Ransom. I hope they don't try and get cute from the wide barrier and drag.
Well, she's on pace filly. Like she's resuming in her second preparation, and the debut run against Sugar Bay Leonard was as good as you'd want.
I really like the trial 2 starts back where it beat Le Romain and Aerojet. I know they were just diggy jogging, but it was quite solid. And then I wasn't so impressed with the trial at Newcastle over the 900, but it didn't look comfortable the whole way round, so I'm going to forgive that.
Resumes at home.
Yeah, resumes at home, lightly raced, and might have some ability. Love the booking of T. Clark. T. Clark, just make sure you go forward. If you notice about this particular horse as well, it takes a few strides to gather momentum, so the wide barrier is even more integral to it. I would give it none if it was from an inside barrier. And I think that's about it. Oh, except same comments about exotherm if it ends up running in this run.
And it will carry Kathy, I guess, if it does run in this race. Nico Bell is 3-year-old resuming in his second preparation and came from off the speed on debut. I don't think that wasn't by design. He was just exerting his talent on that field. And then a very awkward run at his second start at 1200. The other horse I want to mention is Cleve Hill, who has been ridden way too many times by Robert Thompson, and resumes at home here off what I consider to be quite a good run.
Comes out of a Dynamite form race too, doesn't it, Cleve Hill?
Yes, yes. So she's the roughie in the race as far as I'm concerned. Gord, that's the end of Wyong. What are we playing tomorrow?
We're playing and we're having a crack again. Like I'm quite excited. Race 3, number 4, Sleek, I think is a fantastic bet, and it's only got one danger, number 1, Dot Painting. What else am I going to have a good crack at? I'm interested in Sahara Eagle, but it's not a special, but I will be backing it. And then where are we going here? I'm going to back Oxford Magic, but not a special. Race 7, number 1, declaring it an absolute moral. It's an even money or maybe even an odds-on chance, and we're getting a lot better than that at the moment. And you know, they're the horses I make the money on. So
that's right.
And then a longie with a bit of a shot is race 8, number 1, Alengi. But for me, special of the day, race 7, number 1.
Treviso, I'm with you on Treviso. I'd also mention race 2, number 6, Crystal Choice. I think is too far from the favourites priced terminally pretty in that race, and can be expected to run very well. Race 2, number 6, race 7, number 1. That's Wyong. We'll be back on Friday with preview for a very good looking meeting at Randwick. GP will be here. Catch you then.
See you guys.